Hi, so when you open Canvas, you should be able to find our course on your dashboard, and these are the items that you can see first. You will notice that the task for each of these in the first module is View. So you will view the class syllabus and all of this information here that's designed to help you prepare for the class. It's particularly directed towards students who've never taken an online class before. So some of you, if you're very comfortable with online classes, you might move through this a little faster than others. If you've never taken an online class before, you want to study these things pretty closely and maybe even print some of the stuff out, because it's meant to help you have a good measure of success in the class and in future college classes. All right, so you want to complete that first. Set aside, I don't know, for some people maybe you'll get through it in 40 minutes. For others it might take over an hour, maybe even two. But you want to make sure that you know the class syllabus quite well and are prepared to engage with the class in that way. Now, the work that we're doing for the first week, let me go ahead and publish these. There. You're going to have these items to read, and then you're going to have a homework assignment, and it will work this way every week. There will be lessons to look at, and then usually it's a homework assignment to complete, but obviously in some weeks you're going to have essays that you work on. Okay, so the first thing that you will look at is this document, Claims, Reasons, and Evidence. Critical thinking means being able to make good arguments. Arguments are claims, yes? Arguments are claims, backed by reasons that are supported by evidence. Argumentation is a social process of two or more people making arguments, responding to one another, not simply restating the same claims and reasons, and modifying or defending their positions accordingly. Claims are statements about what is true or good, or about what should be done or believed. Claims are potentially arguable. A liberal arts education prepares students best is a claim, while I didn't like the book is not. The rest of the world can't really dispute whether I like the book or not, but the rest of the world can argue about the benefits of liberal arts. I thought the movie was cool is not an arguable statement because it's what you thought, but the movie was Paul Newman's best is arguable because people can disagree and offer their support for different opinions about what movie of Paul Newman's was best. Okay, so let me give you an example of my own. Let us say that you want to argue that California should continue to offer medical marijuana, and that should continue to be legal, but California should not legalize marijuana for recreational purposes. Okay, it's a claim, it's arguable, because we know for a fact, for example, most of the states in the United States ban marijuana for any purpose whatsoever. Street drug, medicine, none of it. A few states have legalized marijuana for medical purposes, and they did so in 1996 or 1997, about 6 of them. And then more recently, certain states have legalized marijuana for recreational use. California is not one of them. Okay, so we start with a claim. We say, California should keep marijuana legal. Okay, that's a claim, but you don't have any reason to believe that claim. So what are the reasons? Why should medical marijuana be legal in the state of California? So we need some reasons. Reason number 1, medical marijuana has been proven to treat pain. Number 2, the only legal substances in the United States to treat pain are opioids. About opioids. Opioids are addictive and opioids are expensive. Marijuana, very cheap, also not physically addictive. So, marijuana is a reasonable substitution for pain medicine. Okay, so there's a reason. Now, these are two things that I can make off the top of my head, claims and reasons. Those are kind of easy. You might think of any sort of claim and reason that you would have for anything. Maybe some point in your life you needed to make the argument to your parents that you should borrow the car. And then they ask you, why do you need the car? Well, you probably want to have a very good answer. Maybe it is because you're going to help pick up groceries for the family. Maybe it is because you're going to go and pick up a younger brother or sister from school. Or maybe it is because you have an appointment and your parents cannot drive you at that time. Okay, you give reasons though, right? The third one is the harder one, having evidence. Evidence is not something that we draw from the top of our head. Evidence is something that we draw through thorough and careful research. So if I wanted to support that marijuana serves the purpose of blocking pain, I would need to go and find studies done by scientists and medical researchers that proves that point. And then in my argument, I would need to cite those studies, who said it, where it was published, and when, even on what page would be a very helpful thing. Okay, so this is the nature then of claims and reasons and evidence. There we go. Now, the article that we will be looking at, if you have any trouble getting the link or anything, you can simply go to the Clovis Community College website, choose the library, and then choose Articles, Research Databases, and scroll down to O. Our article is in Opposing Viewpoints in Context, and you could click on that. And then you could type in this title, Toilet to Tap Gains Appeal in Drought-Parched California. So you can do it that way. Or you can just click on Toilets to Taps right here. You may need to click twice. It is possible that you will need to sign in with your login and password to access our database from off campus. But that's all fine. That will give you this lovely article. And what's really nice about it, okay, it's short, it's direct. If you needed to use it as a source for a paper, the source citation in MLA style is at the bottom. You can just copy and paste it right into your Works Cited page. And what's also really nice about this one is you can have it read to you. It's not going to open right now because I'm recording, but if you click listen or click play, you can listen to the article and observe the specialists talking about their process and what they've done. Okay, and then finally, you'll have at the end your homework assignment, and all of these details are here. I like to highlight to draw attention to points. I know sometimes we're tired and we're overworked, and so this is meant to be helpful, not just to play with colors. Homework assignments are due by 9 p.m. Wednesday. Responses to peers are due by 9 p.m. Friday. About half of your points, 40 to 50% of your points for homework, are based on your responses to your group members. So you want to respond to all of them, and you want to respond to them honestly and in some detail. Instructions for how to open your reply box, instructions for, you need to always use the text box, never attach files and discussions unless explicitly directed to do so. I'm kind of fussy about that because unlike many of your teachers, I might be teaching a lot more students than you are. All of my classes are online, and if you attach files, I have to sit there and watch the little circle go round and round before the file opens, and believe me, it ends up taking a lot of my day. If you just use the text box, then I'm happy because your work will click open and I can see it right away, and we're not wasting any time. Okay, about academic honesty, students must post their homework first before gaining access to their peers' work. Even if your homework doesn't resemble what other students have written, accessing the discussion before posting will be considered an attempt to gain an advantage, and it will be considered cheating, actually. So you must post your homework before you can read anybody else's, and that's going to be true of every discussion board, every homework assignment. Okay, here we go. Prepare for the assignment. You're going to read the materials, take the notes, assess the context of the writing situation, and then I suggest that you might try highlighting taps to toilets, either on screen or on paper. Pick a color for claims, another color for reasons, and a third color for evidence. Highlight the sentences in the article using your color scheme. You're not going to turn this in to me, but I suggest that you do it because it will help you think very carefully and very clearly about how you're identifying things, and I think it will help you process and help you understand the difference between claims, reasons, and evidence. Okay, and don't be afraid if you end up seeing a whole bunch of claims, or possibly instead of that a whole bunch of reasons. Maybe in an article like this there won't be tons of evidence because it's not a scholarly article. It's written for the public, for a wide reading audience, and sometimes those things are light on evidence, and that's okay. We're just trying to practice the act of identifying what is a claim, what is a reason, what is evidence, how are these things different from one another. It's a mode of thinking that I want you to habituate, to be so comfortable with, that by the end of the semester, or perhaps very much earlier than that, you automatically look at any piece of writing or listen to any speech and identify what thing is a claim, and what thing is a reason, and what thing is a piece of evidence. This may very well, I hope, in fact, change the way that you read things and change the way that you listen to speeches. And it may make you a bit more skeptical, and it may give you the habit of looking for evidence and trying to see whether or not claims have adequate support. Okay, so what you turn in is you're going to have bullet points for each of these lists, and for each bullet point you're going to represent the sentence that you've highlighted. So you could copy and paste it if you want to, or you can kind of summarize or paraphrase these. That's okay either way, but bullet points for each list. So you're going to have 3 lists. And then when you complete your homework, you're going to copy and paste your lists into the text box. And under your 3 lists, you're going to write a short, just a little paragraph, maybe 120 words, maybe 180 words, and all you're going to do is just reflect on this activity. What did you think about doing it? What do you think about toilet water becoming drinking water, if you like? Perhaps a little bit more productively, though, reflect on the act of identifying claims, identifying reasons, and identifying evidence. And then you're going to post that, and then you're going to reply to peers by Friday at 9 p.m. Read each group member's homework and reply to each one. In each reply, begin by discussing the strengths in your partner's work. It's always a better way to build a team is to start, right, to open with a bit of praise. Maybe tell your partner about something that informs your understanding, something you learned from them, or something that interests you, or something that you thought was well done. It's always best to start on a positive note when building relationships with people in the business world, in the academic world, in the world of work, in the world of life. You want to build partnerships with people. Okay, and then follow that point with any suggestion that you have regarding your partner's content, and you should have at least one. Something that you suggest that you think might make the content a little bit richer, whatever it is they are saying. By the way, telling them where to put their commas, that is not a helpful point about content. So let's stick to the points that your partners are making and not talk about commas. Okay, replies to peers should always be clear, detailed, supportive, reasoned, and honest. And that is it for week 1. Enjoy.